Hi, I'm Kevin Cann. My real contribution to this show is my knowledge and the fact that I've studied and analysed a lot of David Bowie's very early history. What fascinated me at the very beginning for me was really the Duffy image of Aladdin Sane. It intrigued me right from the beginning, and I wanted to know, how does somebody in the pop industry become somebody that looks like David Bowie? In 1973 there was nothing like it, and so that was my journey. Really what I've done is catalogue David's work. My book focuses on all the years that took David to become famous, and how did he do it, what was the process, all the people he met, the bands he was in, the managers, the countries he visited, the concerts, the experiments. And really, again, this leads to the Duffy show. It's the experiments that we're witnessing in this show, because every session with Duffy was an experiment. The first one, as Ziggy Stardust, was probably just getting to know one another. And then once they very quickly got to know one another, and whenever David had a major project, a major album, Duffy, I'll get Duffy on the phone. And there was a collaboration. And that's the other interesting thing, because a lot of people haven't worked with David on a one-to-one, they don't realise how generous he is as a person, wanting to share an idea and helping to expand an idea. And so he could arrive at the Duffy studio with an idea to have a flash on his face in some way, a lightning flash, maybe small, but that's it. And from that discussion and early experiments, after 6-7 hours, they've got a big lightning bolt, big bold. It could be a death mask. We don't know what's going on. And I think it was that moment in January '73 where they came together, and there was Duffy, there was Pierre Laroche, there was Celia Philo, and David. But that night, by 4 a.m, they'd achieved something remarkable, which is an iconic. It's one of the things that identifies the 1970s now, let alone pop music in the 1970s. You know where you are if somebody puts an image of that up, like you know where you are if somebody puts up an image of Sgt. Pepper or a classic Elvis image. They're moments of magic that David wouldn't share with another photographer. There are certain things he would do for certain people, and certain experiments he would only do with certain people. If we look at Lodger, when David decided he was going to do this very strange idea for not looking like a pop star at all, and making himself look ugly, making himself look dishevelled. He gave Duffy a very basic brief. They always are fairly basic, but they're always succinct. He knows what he wants, but he allows enough space for Duffy to go, okay. And probably when he arrived, there's a bathroom there, and David didn't know. Oh, okay, and then there's water going to be flying around and in certain shots, and David is a generous spirit that will not only appreciate, but he will adopt it himself, and then make more of that. Many artists wouldn't have that at all. They would. No. That's not what I said. I'm just going to be fooling. David Bowie doesn't work like that. As I say, very generous in spirit in many ways in life, but also in his work with artists and musicians. It's a pleasure to see him working like that, and to be so, as I say, generous and open and able to ask opinion as well of people and say, what do you think of this? And they'll say, well, give him some little advice, and okay, that's amazing for somebody of David's stature that everybody would look up to, and you had to know what the secret was, really, and that was partly what I was trying to do, this journey that I took with him to find out how he got to those ideas. They don't just happen. How do you find that out? And you find that out by reading, going to the theatre, seeing a lot of film, meeting a lot of interesting people, involving yourself in concerts, experimenting in concerts. You get yourself out, and you work with unusual people like Lindsey Kemp, a pop singer working with Lindsey Kemp. In the mid-60s, it's unheard of. They're all hanging out at cafes and looking for what leather jacket to buy or a mod suit. He was learning about costume. The costume that David's wearing in the photo shoot for Scary Monsters was designed by Natasha Korniloff. She was the first person to put him in costume. And so, these are the things that David remembered, and by the time, again, he came to a very important moment for himself. The Scary Monsters, another important album. Right, I need the best costume. It has to be Natasha. She knows what I need. Photographer, it's got to be Duffy. He knows what I need. Again, this amazing collaborative spirit that they shared. It was a pleasure to witness, and see the results, really, and in later years learn more about that process too. That's the amazing thing about David Bowie. There's always something to find out. I've written a book that's really thick, a lot of information in it. It could have been 5 times the size. Believe me, I edited out a lot. My editor had to take out a lot. Publisher, so it's an incredibly diverse, intricate, fascinating journey of a career.